Cool. Okay, so we are going to add, and then we're going to subtract them, and then we're going to multiply them together, right? And so you have the same words here. We know we're going to add. If we see the word sum, we know we're going to subtract. If we see the word difference, we know we're going to multiply. If we see the word product, okay? So I'm going to start with this problem here. Make it so we can still see those equations. So this right here says f plus h of x. So the two equations that we're going to put together are the f equation and the h equation. So f here, so I'm going to do 4x minus 3. This would be a good thing to write down. 4x minus 3. And then we're going to add in the h equation, x squared minus 3x plus 1, like that. Cool. All right, so then I need to combine like terms, right? So anything, I know that like terms are things that have the same like variable and exponent. So x squared is the biggest one. There's nothing I can do, nothing to combine it with. So I'm going to put x squared first. And then I see 4x and negative 3x. So 4 minus 3, that'd be positive 1. So I'm going to put plus 1x or just x, like that. And then I have negative 3 and positive 1. So negative 3 and positive 1. Negative 3 plus 1 will be negative 2. And that's it. That's all I have to do in order to add them together, f plus h. So I'm doing the f of x equation plus the h of x equation. Right, so I'm doing the f1 was here, the h1 was there. So in the next equation, what two equations are we going to be, what two like letter equations are we going to be putting together? Which two? Feel free to come off mute if you want. Cool, thanks for that private chat. Oh yeah, I can definitely repeat it as well. Which two letter equations are we going to be combining in this one? Which two are we going to be combining? Like, are we going to put F and K together? Are we going to put J and Q together? Yeah, thanks for that private message. I'm going to put H and G together. So I'm putting H of X plus G of X, right? So I'm going to add H and G together. Thanks for those chats. By doing the exact same thing I did before. So H of X plus G of X. So H of X is x squared minus 3x plus 1. So x squared minus 3x plus 1. And then I'm going to add G of X. G of X is here. So 2x plus 1. I'm adding these two things together. All right. What is different about what we had here and what we have here, besides the letters? What's different about how the equation is ending? Yeah, the -4, for sure. The -4. So the difference is that the -4, instead of x, we're actually plugging in -4. So you might have remembered, like sometime in Algebra 1, you have like f of x equals like x plus 2. And then they asked you like, what's f of 4? And what you did is you took the 4 and you put it in where x is. So we'd have 4 plus 2, something like that, right? So in this case, every time that we see x, we're going to put in -4. So instead of x here, we're plugging in -4. Instead of x here, we're going to plug in -4. Instead of x here, we're going to plug in -4. So I'm going to have -4 squared minus 3 times -4 plus 1, like that. Right, so I'm taking out the x, I'm putting in -4. So -4 squared is 16. -3 times -4 is +12, and then +1, like that. So 16 plus 12 would be 28, plus 1 would be 29. So that's my first parenthesis. And then my second parenthesis, remember I have an x here, I'm going to plug in -4, is 2 times -4 plus 1. So I'd have 2 times -4 is -8, plus 1 is -7. Like that. So that's what ends up in my second parenthesis. So this is h of x that we have gotten all the way down, and g of x, which we've gotten all the way down. And now we need to combine the two to get 22. Cool. So when we have a number, when we have just like f of x, right? When we have the x at the end, that means our answer is going to have x's in it. When we have the number at the end, we do that second step where we plug it in and find a single number as our answer. So if x is at the end, we get x in our answer. If a number at the end, we get a number as our answer. Can I see a quick 6 to 5? If you type a 0 in the chat, 0 means I don't get this at all. What the heck is happening? A 5 means I totally understand this. I think I'm good. A 3 is like, I'd like to see some more examples. Cool. See a couple 4s, couple 5s, a couple 3s. Cool. See a 1 and a 2, no problem. Cool. Thank you for direct messaging me. Thanks for sending it to everyone. Sounds good. Cool. Let's try a subtraction one. We're going to jump in here. We'll do one subtraction one and then one multiplication one. And then we'll pop onto the assignment. So I think we're feeling good. So for this one, what two functions am I using? What two letter functions am I using? Am I using F? Am I using G? Am I using H? Am I using K? Yeah, G and H and G. Perfect. Good. Okay, so we have G of X, and we're going to subtract H of X. We're using those same ones from before. So G of X is 2x plus 1. And I'm going to subtract H of X, which is x squared minus 3x plus 1. Like that. Cool. So the only difference with subtraction is that this negative sign right here is going to be distributed into everything that is in the H equation. So I'd have negative times the x squared. It's going to give me negative x squared. I'd have negative times the negative 3x. So I'd have positive 3x. And I'd have negative times the 1, which is negative 1. Like that. And then the 2x plus 1 is positive, so it's going to stay right where it is. 2x plus 1. Cool. Again, we're just combining like terms. So x squared is our biggest one. So we have to start with negative x squared. We have 2x plus 3x. 2x and 3x is going to give me 5x's. And then we have positive 1 minus 1. Those would cancel each other out. They make 0. So we cancel out each other. And we get this as our answer. I'm not going to do this number one, right? It would be exactly the same thing. We would just plug in the number 2, right? We'd plug in the number 2 and we would solve it to get a number. Solve it to get a number. For sure. Cool. Let's do one more. We're going to do multiplication. Actually, let me see another 5 to 5. So sorry. Let's do, how do we feel about subtraction? We feel like 0, I don't get a subtraction, all the way up to 5. I'm feeling it. I totally get it. I can do it by myself. Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you for your honesty in the private chat. I appreciate you. Also appreciate that I know that you're here and listening. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Let's do we're going to do one multiplication. Let's not do H and K though. So if you printed it out, go ahead and cross out H and K. We're going to do G and H. So G times H of X. Like that. G times H. Cool. So my G equation, this is G of X times H of X. My G equation is 2X plus 1. And I'm going to multiply that times H of X, which is X squared minus 3X plus 1. Just like that. Cool. So you might remember, you don't need to write this part down. You might remember if you had like 3X plus 1 times X plus 2, you might have done like the box with Ms. Velasquez, right? So you'd do like 3X plus 1 and X plus 2, and then you'd be like, okay, what's 3X times X? Oh, it's 3X squared. What's 1 times X? Oh, it's 1X or whatever, like that. We're going to do the exact same thing here, but our box is going to be bigger. It's going to be 2 pieces by 3 pieces. So they're called terms. So we would have 2X plus 1. And then we have X squared, negative 3X, and positive 1. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply X squared times 2X, and that's what I'm going to put in here. So I would have 2, and it's X times X, that's X squared, times another X, that would make X to the third. So I have X to the third, like that. And then I would do negative 3X times 2X, negative 6, X squared, X times X makes 2X, or X squared. 1 times 2X would be 2X. That would be 2X times 1 right here. To go into this box here, I would do X squared times 1, X squared. This box here, negative 3X times 1 would be negative 3X. And then 1 times 1 would go here, so 1. Okay. Awesome. So you might notice that the like terms are in diagonals like this. So we have X squared and X squared, those are going to go together. X and X, those are going to go together. And then the number by itself is chilling, big chilling. So we have 2X to the third. That's this one right here. We're going to combine 1X squared and negative 6X squared. We get negative 5X squared. We get negative 3X and 2X. Those together are going to give me negative 1X. And we get positive 1. Positive 1, like that. So since this question started with X right here, since it started with X right there, we're going to have X in our answer. So this is our final answer for this question. This is just nothing. Okay. So this is our question for multiplication. All right. Let me give us a second to catch up here. I'm just going to put it whole screen in case you missed something. So for this, for adding and subtracting, we're just combining like terms, right? We're just combining them together. With subtraction, we have to remember to distribute, but other than that, we're pretty good. With the multiplication, that's when we use the box. So we're going to use the box for this example here. Okay. Tell me which one it seems the easiest to you, adding, subtracting, or multiplying? Which one seems the easiest? Adding, subtracting, multiplying. Cool. 1 vote for adding, 1 vote for multiplying, 1 vote for adding. Sweet. Lots of love for adding in the direct messages. Also love multiplying. Sweet. We don't love subtracting. That's cool. All right. So these notes that we've taken together, that's going to be what you take a picture of and put right here. If you can put a picture here. If you took took notes on an iPad or something, then you can put screenshots here. If you typed them out, you can put a link here. However you want to show me that you took your notes, you are more than welcome to put them there. If you want to just literally type in this box, you can do that. That's going to get you at least some of the points for today. So we're already done with some of the points, which is great. Cool. So for this next part, we're going to do some of these problems. If you would like to work in a team, like a small group of people, right? If y'all want to work in a small group of people, I am happy to let you work in a small group of people for the next like 15-ish minutes. If you want to work with me, I'm going to go ahead and do numbers 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 6, and 7. So you can like work with me and do that. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make some breakout rooms. Go ahead and tell me if you would like to work in a team. Go ahead and tell me if you'd like to work in a team. Otherwise, I'll assume you want to work with me. If you want to work in a team, let me know. Cool. It looks like most people want to work with me. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, team. Let's do them together then. All right. Okay, number 1. I'm gonna need some help with you guys though. Okay, so y'all are all this on track section, right? This on track section. That's your button. Star, honors are for others. Maybe not though. I might have a couple honors people in here. So let me know if you're thinking. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I knew that. JK. Yeah. Okay, thank you for reminding me that there are some honors folks in here. Appreciate you. All right, so we're one of these sections. Cool. So depending, you're gonna do either problems 1 through 3 or 5 through 7. And then if you're honors, you're also gonna do 4 and 8, but shouldn't be too challenging. So let's jump in with number 1. So for number 1, I'm gonna write f plus h of x, like that. F plus h of x. And then I'm gonna do my f equation plus my h equation. So here's f. So for f, I'm gonna write 2x squared minus 9x plus 2. And then I'm gonna add in h, which is x squared minus 4, like that. X squared minus 4. Okay, so I'm adding like terms. This is my h, remember? Do I have any like terms here? Any like terms here? Feel free to come off mute. I would love to hear your voices. I also love giving merits, so hint, hint. So what can I combine? What can I combine out of all of these terms?
Wouldn't it be the 2 x's? The x2s, I mean.
Yeah, perfect. The x squared. Thank you. Wait, who was that? Tell me.
Emily.
Oh, hi, Emily. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, totally. Your x squared are where you're going to add together. So we're going to take 2x squared and positive x squared, and that's like a 1, right? So 2 plus 1 would be 3x squared. Cool. Thank you, Emily. Thank you all. And then Elder, I see you in the chat. We can also put in or also combine the -4 and the +2. And then that 9x doesn't have any friends. It's just hanging out by itself. So we'd have negative 9x like that. So then the positive 2 and the negative 4 make negative 2. I appreciate that. Awesome. Grace, I see you in the chat too. Thank you. So this is going to be my answer for number 1. And I can go ahead and see that it is in my answer choices right here. So I can go ahead and cross that one out right there. Cool. Already know number 1. All right, number 2. We have a subtraction, everyone's favorite, subtraction. So we have h minus g. So we're doing h minus g of x. So h is x squared minus 4. And then we have subtraction. We have g, which is 6x minus 1. Like that, subtraction. Cool. What do I have to do with the subtraction? How is it different from adding? What do I have to do with the subtraction? Yeah, distribute. Thank you, Kim. So I'm going to take this negative and put it in. So I have negative 6x plus 6, oh no, plus 1. So the negative 6 goes on the 6x, negative goes on the 6x, and the negative goes on the negative 1. So we get positive 1, and then we have x squared minus 4. X squared minus 4. Cool. We're going to look for like terms. I'm not seeing any for x squared, so I'm just going to put that first. And then not seeing any for negative 6x. That goes next. And then I have negative 4, positive 1, makes negative 3. Right, so I can see x squared minus 6x minus 3. See that one right here? So I can go ahead and cross that out. This is my answer. Cool. All right, we got number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4. Let's do number 3 here. Number 3, we have f times g of x. So we're going to do the f equation times the g equation. Clean this up here. We do f times g. So the f equation here is 2x squared minus 9x plus 2 times the g equation, which is 6x minus 1. So is this going to be like a normal like 2x2 box? Thanks for that quick chat. No, it's not. It's going to be a bigger box. Yeah, absolutely, Derek. It's going to be 2x3, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, and we have 1, 2. So we have 2, which would be 6x minus 1. And then we have 3 across the top, 2x squared, negative 9x, and 2. Cool. I want you to go ahead and take maybe 30 seconds to try to fill in this section on your own. Right, try to fill in that section on your own there. And then I'll jump in about 30 seconds. All right, hopefully you were able to get started. So we have 2 times 6 would be 12. And we have x squared times x would be x to the third. We have negative 9 times 6 would be negative 54. And x times x makes x squared. And then we have 2 times 6 would be 12 with the x. 12x like that. We have 2 times negative 1, negative 2x squared coming straight down here. Negative 1 times negative 9x, it's positive 9x, and 2 times negative 1, making negative 2. Again, we can see this doesn't always happen, but most of the time we can see that the like terms are lined up in that cross direction. So I would have 12x to the third, negative 54, negative 2 makes negative 56x squared, 9 and 12 makes positive 9. 12 and 8 make 20, so that would be 21. X. And then negative 2 is here. If you need some help with the multiplication, feel free to use a calculator. You can like log on Desmos if you want. You go to like Desmos. And they have a scientific calculator that's like super helpful. So Desmos Scientific is a good online calculator if you're tired of like using Google. So this is my answer for this problem for number 3. And then I see that answer right there. So I'll cross that out. Cool. Okay, so 1 through 3, all done with 1 through 3. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little smaller. Do you have any questions on 1 through 3? I'm so sorry. I should have asked for questions like a million times. Do I have questions for 1 through 3? If you're moving faster than us, that is totally okay. Keep working. All right. We shall jump into number 5 then. We'll do number 5. If you're honors, just leave a little room for number 4. Or you can come back to 4. I don't even mind if they're out of order. Cool. So G plus H, and we're going to plug in negative 3. So G plus H, plug in negative 3. This is going to be at the end. Right, so the G equation, 6x minus 1, plus the H equation, x squared minus 4, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in negative 3 anywhere that I see x. So I see an x there, I see an x here. So this would be 6 times negative 3 minus 1. And this would be negative 3 squared minus 4. Something like that. All right. So I've got 6 times negative 3 would be negative 18 minus 1 would be negative 19. That is my first parentheses, my G parentheses. And then here, negative 3 squared will be 9 minus 4, right? And 9 minus 4 is 5. And remember that we are adding these two together. We're adding those two together because we have G plus H. So G plus H. So negative 19 plus 5 would be negative 14 as my answer, which I can see right here, which means that I found the right thing. I got the right one. All right. I do want you to try at least one on your own. So go ahead and try number 6. Number 6 is F minus H of 2. And if you've got an answer, go ahead and let me know. You can direct message me. Direct message me when you get to number 6.